its age, I would say this force main is in excellent condition, as you can see in the next page here. It looked like it was just buried in pipe. We were really surprised to see the quality of the pipe at that one spot. It's not to say it's perfect everywhere, but we did an excavation kind of at the corner of Mahler Line there, and looked to be in good shape. And we did a measurement of the pipe wall thickness again with the ultrasound and found that it was to its original specification. This pipe is it's very heavy wall. It's robust. So if we move to the recommendations, there's a few pages here with just words that will stay with me. Going, I guess, 4 pages ahead, I have costs all broken out for each of these recommendations. The opinion of cost reflects what we believe it will cost for a contractor to come in and get the work done, commissioned and back into operating order. So this first page of immediate repairs and upgrades are things we are certain that need to be done now. And the first one would be the PLC. And I could maybe just mention too, we had this report finalized a few months ago, and it was sent to the Lambton Shores engineer as well, and they did a peer review of this work, and we found our conclusions and recommendations were very similar to theirs. So this comes from us and from them, so maybe add some weight to the conclusion. The PLC itself, right now there's no way to tell how much flow you get through the station each day. It's hard to say, well, we need more capacity if you don't know how much you're using right now. And it's hard to know, what are we at risk of the station over flooding or something if we don't know the flows. So it's an easy thing to have a computer. The computer I have on my hip is smart enough to do all this work for you. It's not a complicated thing. Let's get, I would recommend being more current with the controls of the station. Instrumentation such as the flow meter and backup flows, both of those are small ticket items that increase your understanding of what's going on. The MCC itself, should you have an issue, it will be really difficult to replace and repair in short order, but upgrading is strongly recommended. That an MCC could typically last 25 years. This one has lasted 30 already. I mentioned the wet well before. There's corrosion there. Most of that is not affecting your everyday function. We recommend making it safe for operators to go down in there. There's a couple broken pieces, and making it functional again, bringing it back to its original operating condition. The surge tank, there's corrosion. The force main itself, the air valves. Without air valves, without the surge tank, the force main is really vulnerable, as we demonstrated with our modeling. It needs to be kept in good shape, the generator and the overflow. So altogether, these items came to just over $500,000 of recommended must-be-done work. As a side note, we've been tracking the flows this year, and we're already seeing some decline in the flows, which could be attributed to some of these maintenance items. So it's not like it's do it 5 years from now or 10 years from now. We're saying it should be done now.
Excuse me, Paul.
Yes.
Did you say 54,000 or
No,
540?
540.
Thank you.
I I broke a few things out of that immediate maintenance list because there are things that would be nice to have, but maybe not as immediate. So replacing other corroded valves in the wet well. Anything in the dry well, such as the check valves, the isolation valves. There's no pressure monitoring right now. Those things would also be nice to have, maybe not as critical to making the station operate effectively today. So those things, we also had a total for them of $174,000. Now, these next few things are, I guess, in my judgment, the pumps should be replaced as soon as possible, but you have redundancy there in your pumps, so you can wait, right? It gives you that flexibility, and it's good investment to wait until something's broken if you can, like, instead of replacing it before it dies, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The pumps are due for replacement. They're past their life expectancy, but you have redundancy there. Our feeling is replace them when you can get the funding together. They need to really fit with the MCC upgrades to some extent because the switch gear that drives the motor has to match what you put in for a pump. An inlet grinder is also a nice to have. It's prevents your pumps from plugging. Right now the pump can allow something about the size of a tennis ball through it. If somebody were to flush something bigger than that, the pump would have some trouble pushing it through. The generator and fuel system, especially if the pumps are replaced with something different size, the generator may be undersized for that condition. The surge tank itself, should we find in the immediate step that the surge tank is in good condition, it may not need replacing right away. But certainly for now it does need addressing. Odor control, we noticed some odor while we were there on the site. I don't know that there's been any public complaints about odor. There are devices out there that we've implemented in other more popular areas. And then the upgrades to increase capacity. If you're going down the road of the future demand, including other areas, including Bill and growth in Grand Bend, we really would recommend, if we were to design the station today, that it would have variable frequency drives, which allows the pump to ramp up really slowly, turn off very slowly. It's all very gentle on the piping, gentle on the system. There's a limit to how much these pumps can do. It's around 100, 104 liters a second, depending on the elevation of the new plant. Like I said, the generator would need to be upgraded, or the power supply at least. The pumps are upgraded. And then the force main, which now looks to be in good shape, has a limited capacity as well if flows increase. So the cost for those two things, the future upgrades, which included the pumps, was about $750,000, and upgrades to increase capacity, which I believe included the VFD drives and a new generator, would be in the $500,000 range. And then, of course, the biggest ticket item would be to twin the force main. Often when we do this kind of evaluation, we look at risk and consequence, and likelihood of failure, the consequence of failure. So a small device like that level transducer that's measuring how high the wet well is and telling your pumps to turn on, cost of